be. Perpuck here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted and the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today we'll be taking a look at Polite Society, showing now in theaters. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so, Polite Society. This is an interesting little movie that wasn't really on my radar until very recently when Letterboxd reached out to me and offered me an opportunity to go to a free advanced screening. Well, I said reached out, I more or less just got an offer because I'm a Letterboxd patron. But, I just went for the experience because, ooh, an advanced screening. That sounds fun. Went in with no real knowledge of the movie, nothing serious. I'd seen, a few tiny clips with almost no context. I knew nothing about the director. This is their debut. And even now, having watched the movie, there wasn't a single actor in it I recognized from anything. So I was just going in totally blind. I brought a friend along. I thought it was going to be a fun experience, but I was worried. What if this turned out bad? Thankfully, no. And I got surprised with one of the most enjoyable movies I've seen this year so far. Polite Society is, simply put, a really, really funny comedy with a lot of heart. I could go into a lot more details on that, but I kind of want to keep this review really spoiler light, because this movie's kind of special. It manages to get a lot done in not a super long runtime, and as a feature director debut, for this person, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. I will put it up on the screen right now. It's really impressive, and I'm really glad I saw it. And I'd recommend pretty much everybody who likes a good, fun, feel-good kind of movie go see this. Sorry I'm keeping it vague, but again, I want to keep the spoilers to a minimum. In the simplest terms, it's a comedy drama about two sisters, one of whom is an aspiring stunt woman and, hobby martial artist, got a little YouTube channel where she does jump kicks and stuff. Her older sister is going through a rough patch in her life, and she ends up proposed to be married to some guy that the sister thinks is a sleaze, and is like, I gotta make sure she doesn't throw her life away. And that's the basic premise, and it goes a lot of crazy places from there. It's pretty interesting. I've seen some people comparing it stylistically to Scott Pilgrim, which personally I don't see exactly. There's martial arts in it, and it's kind of over the top in a way you wouldn't expect for like a grounded kind of family drama comedy thing. But it's entertaining, and I guess I can see how people would compare that to Scott Pilgrim being all heightened and comic booky. But more so, I don't think it's specifically like Scott Pilgrim. I think it just feels like Edgar Wright in a lot of ways. I mean, it's British, first of all, and does some crazy genre hopping and interesting plot revelations. So I guess people could see it as like a lot of his movies where there's a weird twist or gimmick thrown there at a certain point. But more so, it feels like every actor is really committed. All the chemistry between these people is really solid. Tons of fantastic comedic performances in general. Good emotional performances when the need arises. I really like the soundtrack. I don't recall a ton of licensed music. There's a bit, I think, but the score music was generally really fun and energetic to listen to. I liked the editing. And again, I know none of these actors. I think most of them are no names who have been in next to nothing, if not nothing at all before this. And they're all great. And again, I'm blanking on all the names, but the two female leads, the two sisters, they do great. All the adults in this movie, the parents, all have a lot of range, and pretty much everybody, even the minor characters, has something to add to the performance, or a little scene where they get to stand out. The main character, she has these two friends at school, and they are really funny. And specifically, there's one of them is this lady named Angelina Broccoli or something. Sorry, I put her name on screen. And she was so funny, she didn't have to say anything. Whenever she showed up and I just saw her face, she'd be making a hilarious face, and I'd just start guffawing. I saw this with a pretty not a huge crowd, but a fairly full theater for what this was, and it was a really like excited crowd who were super into it. There was cheering and tons of laughing, some clapping. This was like an overall big hit. My friend that I brought along really liked it too. And I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much more from here. Just know that Polite Society is probably one of the surprise sleeper hit movies of this year. It's like a weird art house Mean Girls with like higher goals for itself, and it's a lot of fun. And I'd recommend it to anybody. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie. I kind of rambled a little bit on this one, as if I don't always. But it really is a movie I think is best enjoyed for yourself. It is a really passionate feeling movie lover's movie. I can see this being a pretty good success with the whole family. There's a fair bit of language and some violence, obviously, but it's a PG-13, and for the most part, it's like grounded and like emotionally intelligent in a way that I think will resonate with a lot of people, young and old, but leaning young. But yeah, it's got some peach fuzz that you'd expect from a directorial debut, where you can see, wow, this person's got a really clear vision. I feel like they'll be better in certain things when they've had a chance to like have more practice literally making movies. But I can forgive a lot of that because this is just a really unique, fun, well-executed vision that I enjoyed a lot. I give Polite Society an 8 out of 10. That rating could go up or down on future viewings. Maybe the experience of going to a fancy advanced screening is painting my memory a bit. But I'm interested in seeing it again. It was a pretty decent surprise hit. A fun, like, enthusiastic, kind of inspiring movie with a really palpable passion and, of course, fury. I don't really know how to end this video, if I'm being honest, so I'm just gonna play a clip from the movie Society, which has nothing to do with this, but I was thinking about it while watching this movie and it was funny, so whatever, here it is. I love you, goodbye.
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead. Hey, Bill.